Hi there, I'm Dave Karger here at the Entertainment Weekly and People Video Studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. I'm so happy to be here with the crew from the beautiful movie Living, Bill Nighy, Aimee Wood, and the director Oliver Hermanus. Great to see you all. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oliver, I say this with affection. This movie is a bit of a mutt. It's, of course, based on the Akira Kurosawa classic Ikiru, and it was written by a Japanese novelist, Kazuo Ishiguro, but it was filmed in Britain with a British cast, and you're from South Africa. So how would you describe the identity of this film?
Yes, good question. It is a sort of coming together, I think, of such interesting people, and it never made sense. When I was asked if I wanted to make this movie, I thought it was a joke, and then I also thought that the person who would say yes would be an idiot, because it's a Kurosawa. But it seems Kazuo Ishiguro is such a convincing man, and he convinced me that this was something to do, and here I am.
I love it. Bill, my understanding is that, in simple terms, this film was essentially built around you. How often has that happened in your career, and what is that like to hear?
To hear that it's a very good thing to hear. It's I must have been very good in a previous life or something. But people sometimes say, you know, I wrote this for you, but I'm not always sure that's for real. But in this case, yeah, it came out of a dinner party that Stephen Woolley, the producer, and myself and Kazuo Ishiguro were at. And at the end of dinner, Kazuo Ishiguro said, I know what your next film should be. And the suggestion was he'd always wanted to reimagine Ikuru. And he didn't plan to write the screenplay, but Stephen Woolley, the producer, persuaded him to do so, and it turned out very, very, even better for me because it was a sensational screenplay. So the whole thing is, you know, deeply desirable.
Aimee, what's it like to be cast in a film and also learn that you're going to be acting opposite Bill?
Oh, it was very exciting. It was very exciting. And Oliver also told me, he broke the rules, and he told me on a FaceTime that was just meant to be a chat about the film. I didn't know I had the part at this point. And then Oliver just kind of slipped in, oh, and you're in it. But he hadn't spoke to the producers or anything yet. So it was very much, yeah, it was amazing. And then obviously, I would say my family still haven't quite got their heads around it because I've been obsessed with Bill forever. So like, how is this happening? This is incredible. So it was amazing. It was magical from the very beginning.
What's the source of the obsession? Is there a particular film, a character?
There is.
Let's hear it.
It is Love Actually, Bill. I mean, there's been more than that, but that was the start. It was the start.
I'm sure you've never heard that before.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be more original, but...
Well, when it's that good, it's going to have fans. That's just the way it is.
Exactly.
Oliver, when you think back to the Kurosawa version, obviously yours is a real reimagining of it. What did you want to retain from the original, and what did you want to put a new spin on?
You know, the amazing thing about the original, it's 70 years old this year actually, is that the message is as strong as it was in 1952, which is this question about the meaning of life and having a value of dying with a sense of satisfaction, perhaps. And it was very important that the film that we made today would echo that same message from the original film, which was challenging and scary. But, you know, Bill and I spent so much time working and talking, and Bill had an instant understanding of what this man's journey was going to be, and he brought that pathos from the start, so it made it so much easier to work, and it was fantastic to watch him.
It's also a beautiful film just to look at and let kind of wash over you, in large part due to Sandy Powell, your costume designer, 3-time Academy Award winner, 15-time nominee. I think you two had worked together once or twice before.
We worked once before in North Africa. I had 3 lines and I wore a toga. And I swore from then on, no more toga movies. I don't have the legs for a toga movie.
Well,
but she, the other person we might thank for the way it looks is Jamie Ramsey, the cinematographer, who's a veteran colleague of Oliver's, who he attracted to the project, who was, I think Oliver will agree, is a wonderful, wonderful artist.
Absolutely. And Aimee, we should tell people who have not seen the film, which is coming out in December, by the way, so you've got a little bit of time you have to wait. Your character is the only woman in the office where it takes place. Yes. Consequently, you were probably one of few women, at least in front of the camera or on the set in total. What was that experience like from that regard?
Well, there was a lot of women behind the scenes. pretty much.
Production designer, costume designer, obviously
Yeah.
makeup artists.
Yeah. But yes, in the world, it was very helpful because the first week of filming, we did all the stuff in the office. So that whole first week, it was me and them.
Right.
And then that really helped to, I think, helped inform how Margaret feels. It really helped me having that on the first week. It was really important, actually, because I really, I felt how she felt and why she was so desperate to get out of there. Not that they weren't lovely in real life, but just doing those scenes where, you know, they're just subtly kind of trying to cut her down, you know, that all the time, everything she kind of says, they just slightly undercut. And I felt her kind of, it was helpful to do that first, to feel that urgency of how much she wants to kind of get out of this world before it crushes her. Yeah.
The main character in the original film very famously sings. So obviously, your character was going to sing, and you do so quite nicely, especially for people who have heard you sing in movies like Love Actually. This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
How was it decided upon what the song would be?
Well, I wasn't party to any of those discussions, but during the press conference at the Venice Film Festival, Kazuo Ishiguro revealed that that was a song that his wife sings to him.
Oh.
And it's a very, therefore, special song for him and for he and his wife. So that was why that song was chosen.
Did you know it already?
I didn't know it. I'd never heard of it, actually.
Me either.
Well, you know, it's an old Scottish folk song. But it was, and I didn't know until, you know, last week that it had that particular resonance for Ishiguro. So that was, you know, something.
Do you feel like it suits your voice?
I don't know. You'd have to ask someone else.
Beautiful.
There you are. Apparently it does.
It was a very emotional day of shooting, actually, because every time Bill did it, the entire crew was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to happen in every movie theater
In pain.
in across the way. For all of you, this film is a real kind of beautiful examination of death and how it can relate to life and almost improve one's life. For all of you, did it change your perspective on death? Oliver, you start.
Absolutely. I mean, I sort of thought about this movie as me making a film about death, and that was kind of the challenge for me. And it did make me have to think about what that meant and how I would approach the situation that the character's in. So it's definitely been something that's sort of had to take root inside of me.
How about you, Aimee?
Yeah, I felt very alive when we were filming it. That sounds cheesy, but I really did. You know, it was really, because it's that ache, isn't it? It's the bittersweet that is just the happy sad that I think is life. Life is so happy sad, and that the film is just kind of constantly operates in that realm. And so I really felt that. I was feeling a lot whilst we were filming it, and it definitely made me feel very grateful, and I was definitely noticing things and noticing beauty, and I think that's what happens when you're kind of, having to deal with that subject matter.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you do look at the clock and you think, you know, we better get on with it. And the film is also about procrastination. It's about an institution which is designed, a very elaborate institution, designed to prevent things from happening. And on a personal level, I procrastinate at an Olympic level, so I'm very, very good at it. And it did make you think, and I mean, I didn't need this film, because at my age you do start to, you know, you think, come on, how long can you really want to put everything off? So yeah, no, it galvanized me. People say that irritating thing about living your life as if it's the last day, you know, which nobody can, and I can't. But it did get my attention, and I do, like Aimee says, I try and relish things and notice things, and, you know, and really appreciate things as they happen. Because as I read today, Joan Didion, every day is all we got, was a quote that I happened to read today.
When you say you're a procrastinator at an Olympic level, on trivial things or on important matters?
It used to be on everything, but mostly on important matters, yeah. The more important, the better.
Let me finish with this. If this is a question, might be hard for you to answer, Bill, but I'm going to ask anyway. So many of the reviews that I've read for this film say it's your best performance that you've ever given. Do you feel that way?
Do you know what? It's all a long time ago. I mean, you know, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know. The thing is, I never watch anything I'm in anyway. So, and the reason I don't watch anything I'm in is because I have worked out over the years that it's not good for me. And the reason it's not good for me is because I have a kind of extreme, it's beyond dysmorphia. It's like, I'm just not the best judge, so I'm not the person to ask. I know, I felt good when I was doing it. I felt like I knew what I was doing, and that's not the case on every job. Sometimes I'm just blagging it, trying to get through. But I didn't feel that on this one. So it's not for me to say, and, you know, I don't know.
Well, you're in luck because Aimee Lou and I are about to reenact the entire movie of Love Actually for you
Yes.
right about now.
Surprise!
So, you're actually missing out on a lot of great movies by not watching the movies you're in.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I congratulate you all on this. It's very well done, gorgeous film, and congratulations on being accepted to all of these wonderful festivals. The movie is Living. It's coming out in December. It's going to be worth the wait. Bill, Aimee Lou, Oliver, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back.